How are you today?
I'm so good, thank you. Yeah, I'm great.
This show is both amazing and scary because I immediately could see the implications of the reality that's underneath.
Yeah, I think that adds to the stakes of it all. I think that's what we all saw when we read it. We don't want to be bleak about it entirely. This is a TV show and a drama, but
it's exciting.
But it adds to it, yeah, because it makes it all too real, and it's also that's what science fiction does. It gives us the chance to show the repercussions of our actions without having to go through all the actions yet. And maybe just maybe we can pull a few people to not be in climate deniers or something.
Right.
It's some sort of logic in the world.
And I mean, I even love the fact that right away, early in the first episode, they're talking about the fact of all the Americans who have gone up to Canada. It's a great thing. I mean, it's scary too, of course, in some sense, but the fact that that's not all that far-fetched.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. I think the guys, Ted Humphries, the executive producer, always calls it speculative fiction as opposed to science fiction, where it's sort of grounded in reality and based and rooted in fact. And I think there's been a series of scenarios where whatever we've had in the show that might be deemed, a bit quirky or a bit then a month later either comes out in production if it's a piece of technology, or a certain orange man referred to building a wall between America and Mexico. We shot the pilot a month before that happened, or a month and a half before that happened. And I just remember David and Alex going, oh God, we're going to have to deal with this now. It's becoming more politically relevant than we imagined. But yeah, it's really quirky. It's quite scary, but it's totally possible.
Well, so tell us a bit about what Incorporate is. What's the story about?
The story's about a lot of things, really, but at the crux of the agenda is the story between a man and this mega corporation he takes on to find the woman that he loves, that he lost about 6 years before. She sold herself to the company to get herself and her family out of a financial difficulty.
Right.
But in the process didn't understand what that would then entail, and he's all too aware. So he's created this new identity and taken on this company and infiltrated it from within to see if he can find her and get her out. And
I mean, his story is, I guess you could say, complicated to begin with. It's one of those great roles, I imagine. Is that true, that he's got so many things going on and so many layers, I guess?
Yeah, it is. With the complexity, you're so right. It is one of those great roles in that sense. Like, if I did it right. If I didn't, then it's one of the worst casting choices
no,
ever.
It's good. It's very good.
But and it really sort of smooths out throughout the series as well. Because what was difficult, you're right. It is a complex character. It's also two characters.
Right.
And I think I've talked about these two. Me and my accent coach Michael Armstrong, we would spend a lot of time on set talking about this when we weren't talking about accents and trying to, because he was there for Junior.
The accent is very good. I should say that too. Congratulations
on that. It's all lies. It's not. My whole voice was audio dubbed afterwards by somebody else, by the dulcet tones of whoever you want it to be. We talked about these two internal motions that are constantly grating within Ben or Aaron, and it can be classified as Ben or Aaron, or green zone and red zone, or wealthy and poor, or Elena and Laura. There's the two people that tearing away at him. So it was really, really fun, but also really difficult, because there were stages when I was playing someone playing somebody else, and that's 3 levels of depth that kind of, if you think about it too much, blur the lines quite a lot, and I had to sort of separate from an audience point of view what they need to see me think, what I then need to show them through the eyes, and then what I need to say is probably different because of the person opposite me that I have to manipulate or lie between, or sort of coerce into whatever. So it was a juggling act of 3 different or 4 different things at all times, much like Ben's life is on the show.
That's kind of cool, actually. I mean, then you're almost playing a little bit of reality.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bonkers amount. I mean, I don't think I've ever prepped so much in my life. Hopefully that works out. But it was a huge amount. So much happens in the show. Never has so much happened so quickly to so few. It ramps up in intensity massively. The first episode is so much of it is world building and story defining, but then the moment episode 2 kicks off, it's just a never ending barrage of how do you get out of this one, move quick, move fast, jump. And that's sort of how the shooting was as well. I mean, we don't shoot in chronology, and we're very fortunate that Ben's very much part of the story, so he's in quite a lot of the time.
Right.
And if it wasn't Ben and Ben had a day off, then it would be Aaron. So I was still there. But It was really grueling, and it led to a lot of mapping out. I mean, tens of thousands of words, just episodic plans, because we don't shoot in chronology.
Right.
So it's about gauging exactly where I need to be and what I need to carry in with me, and where I've been and where I need to get to.
That's cool. Do you have, in terms of where things are going to go, do you have a favorite episode that you know about? You can kind of say is going to be a big one for people, that they're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe this episode.
Yeah, you know what, I think we're all really happy with the way that episode 10 turned out, and it's great being a season finale that it's one of the network's favorites. I had a phenomenal time shooting a lot of the episodes, but one of my favorites, and for personal reasons outside of work, there was some struggle and whatever else, but a monster to shoot was episode 5, and it's bang in the middle of the series, and Daniel Stamm is a weird and wonderful director, a German director, and we had a really tough shoot, and it was a lot of stunts and a lot of different changeovers. Both characters feature really heavily in it, so a lot of Ben, and it has the most Aaron scenes that you've had. But so much drama occurs, and it was just some stuff with Doug Nyback and some of the other cast members. There are some scenes in there that change the whole show, and they change the whole character. Cool. And all of a sudden, there's no way you can come back.
And halfway point is kind of amazing.
Yeah, because it ramps up enough, and then midway through the series, it explodes, and you go, "Oh, we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to watch the fallout of this," which is so. There's some pretty big moments in 5 for both characters in both time periods.
That's fantastic. Did you have a lot of fun with the action? I can imagine it must be fun, but
it's best bit to throw yourself around.
Yeah.
The stunt guys get so tired of it. They're like, "Sean, you're not on camera. You don't have to throw yourself about anymore." And I'll just dive headfirst into concrete. It's really fun, and it's also part. You want to maybe a bit of. You have to be responsible, I guess, right. and everyone always is, and crew members are always very, very good and very, very, very alert and very cautious when it comes down to it. But it's also at the discretion of the performer. And that's something that I really revel in. It's something that I really enjoy, and it's a chance to. It's a physicality that you get to use. It's different to anything else, and in times of those extreme sort of, you see so much of a character. So obviously some stunts are just show stunts, and the beautiful car flips and but in these extreme moments when these things happen, you see so much come out because they're so off guard, and so I really enjoy them because you really get to be there, and luckily episode 5, I mean, I got tasered, I get bricked, I get hit with axes, I get all sorts of things knocked and thrown at me. I think the writers can't stand me.
Well, I mean, the other thing to talk about is your executive producers are kind of notable.
Sort of, a little bit. That's just starting out, but I think they've got a strong future.
I mean, what's it like having, I don't know how to put it, like, what was the impact of having them on board?
Well, from the get-go, it was sort of astronomical. I think the show, Alex and David were shipping out the show, the creators, the Spanish creators, and they had such a great script and such a great spec, I think, anyway, that it would have only been a matter of time. But Ben and Matt jumped on it very quickly. It was very much in line with what they like and what they believe in, and what them, something that they hadn't done before, and it's their first TV drama. So. First TV series, really, other than scripted, at least, because Project Greenlight isn't. And I mean, so they've been there from the beginning. So I mean, their value and their worth and their relevance to the show is infinite. If they just jumped on board and taken a paycheck at the last minute, which which never happens in this business.
No,
never. No one's ever just taken a paycheck and not turned up to work, ever. But they haven't done that, and they were there through the casting process, and they've been there through the editing process. Whenever we managed to grab them, which is difficult to do because they're so damn good at their jobs. But they've been like, I mean, it's great for my mum because she sees a poster and then it's their name, so I can't get rid of that poster now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's a happy bunny.
Well, any particular thing you can tease that fans can get excited for as they progress through the series? Something that maybe comes a couple episodes in, maybe.
There's not too much nudity.
No.
In the first episode, but if you want some nudity, if you want some murder, a little murder in there maybe, if you want some just gravely hard situations to watch, then please tune in because there's plenty of them coming.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.